everyone, it's Tawnya Love, and welcome to today's Tawnya Love show. And I hope everyone is doing great out there. Basically, this past week has been really interesting. I'm always observing and watching for, okay, what is Source channeling through now? What are we to discuss at this time? And this week has been very interesting to observe. And I mean, I see this all the time, but in particular, I've had a lot of clients coming to me with this issue, and I've been seeing it all around me. I've had a few different people kind of energetically slam doors in my face when I would not submit to their misalignment. And so today, I'm feeling inspired to discuss the need to release and surrender our lackful consciousness. And we've talked about the ego in the past on many shows. We've talked about the egoic mind. And the egoic mind, as I like to refer to it, is always focused upon lack. It's always focused upon something's missing, something's lacking. You're not enough. You're not good enough. You're not quite there, and you don't have enough. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough friends. You don't have enough something. And so I've just been really watching how, when I observe our society, our collective consciousness, if you will, there is a sickness, there's a soul level sickness that's time has come to be healed and transformed. And so all of you that watch my show, you know I'm not one to complain and talk about negativity, because it's really not going to serve us to do that any longer. But I do address what I'm seeing and what is ready to be transcended or transformed. And what I'm seeing at this time is this need to really tune in internally to our own consciousness and notice inside of yourself right now, if you're honest with yourself, are you in alignment with unity consciousness at this time? Are you really believing there's plenty, that there's infinite time, wisdom, abundance, resources, helpers? Do you believe that you're worthy already? Do you believe that everything's working out for your highest good? Do you understand and know in every fiber of your being that the universe is fully supporting your mission? Or are you identifying with lackful consciousness or the egoic mind? Are you in a place right now, and be honest with yourself because awareness is everything. Are you in a space right now where you believe there's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough people to help, everyone's out to get you, the universe is trying to cause you to suffer? And if you tune into that and really are honest with yourself, that is an amazing place to begin. Because in order to go higher and evolve, we have to know where we are right now. And so knowing where you are energetically right now is going to be amazing and powerful in helping you to shapeshift and helping you to transform and transcend all these limitations and all these limiting belief systems and past behaviors that are keeping you stuck. So that's today's discussion. I'm excited to talk about it because I feel that I just see so many humans are kind of getting pissed off. I'm really observing a lot of just anger and frustration churning, and I feel it's because it's time for us to shift. It's time for us to go higher. So when I see a lot of humans suffering or struggling or just like, I'm done, it's enough, it gets me excited because I can tell something very amazing is happening inside of them vibrationally. And when I see it happening to many humans, it's exciting because it shows that humanity is starting to feel that pressure. We're starting to really want the truth. We're starting to really want to remember who we are and step into our power, because we see that the time of being a victim is no longer serving us. So that's our discussion for today. I really encourage any of you watching to call in or write in with questions. Our behind the scenes angel, Amnon, will be happy to let me know if there's any questions coming in. And especially comments, like if you just want to even share what you're going through at this time and that you can relate in some way, please share, speak up, share and speak your truth, because that is one way of stepping into our power, is really having the courage to speak and to say what we want to say. And on that note, I understand why some of you may be nervous or hesitant to speak, because I observe how it's not always celebrated in society, the ones that are daring to step up and really speak their mind. I know myself, I've had many that when I am called into an environment or a situation and I'm asked to observe, or I'm asked for my opinion, or what do you feel, Tanya? And I observe and then give truth, sometimes that truth is not received very well. And it's not something that we should take personally. I've learned in my journey to not take that personally if another human is frustrated or upset or in denial of the message, because that is really about them. And others' behavior is really about them, and we need to really make sure, as spiritual warriors, that we are always messengers of spirit and that we can speak our truth. We can step into our power without apology and without fear, because that is how we're going to actually create a lot of shifts on the planet, is by being and embodying that sense of power. So if any of you are feeling frustrated or nervous because you're not sure that people will appreciate your truth, or maybe you have been punished in some way, you've lost jobs, or you've been treated in a certain way because you spoke your truth, don't lose your faith. Just keep being who you are. Keep speaking your truth. Keep standing in your power, because I assure you, the longer you maintain that vibration and you remember who you are, the more and more the doors of opportunity are going to open for you in powerful ways. And the humans that are ready to hear those messages, the humans that are ready to honor and appreciate you for what you are, they are going to come to the surface and you're going to shine. So really be mindful that you don't lose faith too soon, because a lot of times we're put through tests and we go through these trials, and what sometimes when we're in a lack full consciousness, we can see things falling away as a painful thing. We can see, a friend slams the door in our face and doesn't want to talk to us anymore, and we could cry. And I used to take that stuff so personally, caused myself a lot of unnecessary suffering. But we can also see that when these opportunities come, that they are gifts, that they are actually blessings in disguise, and that Source knows that this human is no longer for our highest good, or that this job is no longer serving our soul mission. And if we're not attached and we are fearless warriors, nothing will frighten us and nothing will cause us to feel ashamed or feel that something's wrong with us because another rejects us. And it's really important that we all pass through this. You could call it an initiation. I don't really know that it's that formal, but it's kind of like this alignment. It's like this laser beam of alignment, and we have to embody that alignment. And so that takes some practice. That takes some, stepping in a little bit and, ooh, I'm not sure if I'm ready, and we pop back out. But it's really, I had a student in yoga asking me, Tanya, when you talk about alignment, like, what is that? Like, what does that look like to you? And I just jumped up spontaneously and I turned the light on in the yoga studio. And there's these lights above the studio that just shine a light straight down. And I said, this is where most humans spend their time. And I was walking in a circle around the light. And then I told her, this is what I mean when you step into your alignment. And I stepped right in. And it literally is a stepping in. Many humans dance around the circle of alignment for lifetimes. They try to be good. They try to be powerful. They try to be something. And trying is really the absence of being. So we need to stop trying, and we need to start stepping in, and we need to start claiming our alignment and really embodying what we came here to be and what we came here to embody. So when I talk about lackful consciousness and unity consciousness, that is what I'm talking about. Unity consciousness is that laser beam of alignment. When I am in that alignment, I and you are one. I see you and you see me when we're both in there. Now, if I'm in that alignment and you're not, and you're dancing around the circle, it doesn't mean that we're not still one. It's just I will be seeing from the eyes of consciousness that shows our oneness, and I will have greater compassion and wisdom and understanding of why you are still dancing around the circle. Now, when someone's dancing around and they're in lackful consciousness and they're looking at me standing in alignment, often they can be threatened or jealous or insecure and have all kinds of things come up for them because they are dancing around the light. They're still in the shadow. And when we're in that shadow energy, fear dominates us. And that's what I really want to address today, is that as a planet full of humans that are intelligent, amazing souls, it is time for us to really wake up and remember who we are. It's time for us to really step into the light fully and to be in alignment with source, to really connect with our one true source. Now, this is not religion I'm talking about. I I don't care what religion any of you follow, or if you like to do certain rituals, or if you want to go out and dance naked under the moon. I don't really care. That's your thing. But what I'm talking about is alignment is important for all of us, and it's not a religion. It's not some kind of cult following. It's you knowing how to connect with your one true source. So my connection with my one true source of infinite energy and abundance and solution is going to be very vibrational for me, and I often will access that consciously in meditation when I'm being still and I'm tuning in to ask source for guidance, or I'm tuning in and I'm thanking source for all the abundance that's being provided. And especially when I feel like there's not a lot of abundance around, the most important thing is to get into that alignment vibrationally and feel grateful for everything I have, to feel grateful for all that I've been given, and to be so excited and so eager for what's on its way. And I say this because most of you out there are missing this one simple thing. And I've taught so many workshops on manifestation and laws of attraction, and there's all these amazing techniques and tools that we can use in our magical toolbox, as far as the positive affirmations and positive visualizations and things like that, making a vision board. All of that stuff is really powerful. However, the universe is hearing your call, is hearing and communicating with you, and you are communicating with the universe, whether you know it or not. You are, and you are communicating through your vibration. So if you, for example, are broke as a joke and you have no money in your bank account, you're freaking out, and you're just like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. Oh shit, like I'm freaking out. But there's plenty of abundance, and you're saying these affirmations, but in your vibration you are in complete panic and fear. The universe is hearing your vibration. It is responding to your panic and your fear vibrationally. Now, the reason this is important for you to all get is because any of you that are frustrated and feeling like there's not enough, first of all, know that you are in lackful consciousness. Claim it, realize it, and then be sorry, and be willing to step away from it. So if you're in lackful consciousness and you're in denial, it is not serving you. It's not going to ever serve you to be a victim or to be ignorant to your own misalignment. The most important thing for you, and the friends that come into your world that actually shine the light of awareness on you, give them honor and reverence. They are your great friends and allies. They are there to help shine and light the way. And what happens is many of us, we get threatened by these souls that are powerful and warrior-like, that come in and say, oh, do you realize this is what's going on? And have you addressed that? Oh, I don't want to hear that. Boom, slam the door in her face. Not going to necessarily serve you. And so the messengers that are here, a lot of the healers that are here to be bold and courageous and speak truth, it's really important that we do not take it personal if the door is slammed in our face. Get over it. Like, do not give a crap anymore about what people think of you. You really got to get over it, because what people think of you is about them. If they're flattering you today and degrading you tomorrow, it is about them. So the more you are connected with your true source, the more you understand that you are enough. You are all of it. You are the universe. You are as beautiful as every sunset, every beautiful flower that you look at, all the beautiful animals in nature that you admire. They are reflections of you. We are one with this universe. We're a part of it. We're a part of the beauty. The miracles we see and that we celebrate, we are that miracle. So we got to stop taking it so seriously when humans that are out of alignment reject us, because they're going to. Like my brother says so perfectly. He said, Tanya, you know what? You just can't worry about haters. He goes, haters are gonna hate. That's what he told me. And it is so true. And those humans that are in the what he calls hater energy, they're just in a place where they're out of alignment with their source. They are not connecting with their source. They think there's not enough. They're in fear, and they are competitive, and they are judgmental, and they are hating. And so we can get caught up in that, and we can be triggered by their energy and then lose our own alignment and allow their misalignment to trigger the same in ourselves. That is a choice. It's not a fun choice. Or we can choose higher and we can observe their misalignment. We can observe their fear. We can shine light of awareness and say, are you aware that you are coming from a place of fear? What is your intention right now? Why are you speaking to me in this way? And they may get really confused and upset because they're not used to someone doing that, but speak that truth anyways and don't take their misalignment personally. It's so important for you vibrationally. So, on that note, I'm going to pause for a second. Any questions, any comments, Amnon?
Well, somebody called Ron is saying you talk about the one
My
true.
number one fan.
So you talk about the one true source. For
Yes.
some, it's God. For others, it's Allah. For others, it's Buddha. And others, it's Jesus.
Yes.
Which is correct? Is my true source just whichever one I connect with?
Okay, so I'm going to go beyond that. One true source is the energy and vibration of infinite energy and support. It is what brought energy to Christ. It is the energy that channeled the wisdom and consciousness to Buddha. It is the energy that brought assistance and awareness to Gandhi, to Allah, our sense of a God. All of it is coming from source. And so the reason I say source, it's like in the movie Avatar when, well, it's actually beyond because in Avatar they say Awa, and I feel like what they were talking about was like Earth Mother, like Mother Gaia, which is also like a deity. So these energies, these gods and goddesses and archangels, these are all beautiful things, but they all come from source. So when we really can remember that we are as beautiful and as powerful and as vibrant and miraculous and magnificent as Christ, and that we are one with that energy, we are as beautiful and as intelligent and as perceptive as Gandhi, and that we are one with that energy. The source energy is the infinite life force that flows in. And some call it like the chi or the prana. It's the life force, and it's a higher intelligence, and it comes into us as humans. It channels through us. That is what I'm talking about when I say source. So if you connect in a level with connecting with Jesus and Christ or with Buddha, that's fine. If you feel a connection to those humans and how they connected with Source, go for it. However, the problem happens when we start to deny others the right to connect in their own way, to connect with their own true source. And what gets tricky is when humans start thinking that there's a one true God, and then they start arguing and fighting over that. That is really a waste of our energy and our time, and it's caused countless suffering. It's so many humans have died at the argument of who is the true God. It's complete ridiculous energy. I would say it's insanity at its finest, and it's not necessary. So when I talk about connecting with the one true source, it doesn't even matter if you believe in a God. You don't have to. It's that you tune in and you feel the vibration and aliveness within yourself. That you know that you are an amazing soul beyond this body, beyond this form, and that you can tune in vibrationally and raise your own vibration and heal your own body. You can tune in vibrationally and assist others in healing because you have that awareness and you have this open portal that allows that life force to flow. When there's a Reiki healer or an angelic healer, when we're tuning in, I'm just a channel for that source energy to flow. And then I'm tuning in and listening. There are times where I've sensed Christ consciousness come in. I've felt and seen Buddha's presence and Kuan Yin and Goddess Isis. Like recently I had Isis make an appearance and let me know that she was here assisting. So all these energies are beings that are here to assist us. I would call them ascended masters. And then there are the archangels. And then there is source or the galactic beings that are even beyond the angelic beings. There's source energy, and it's coming through all of these beings, and it's bringing us information, it's bringing us understanding, it's helping us find solution. It's intelligence, it's the life force of intelligence. Like Einstein, when he was tuning in and finding these mathematical theories and solutions and equations, they were coming from source. They were coming from higher intelligence because he was here on the planet at a time asking the question, and the consciousness was responding with an answer, with a solution. So if we could get past this feeling that we have to identify with this like male or female energy of like a god that's outside of us and that we have to be afraid of that god or goddess, we will evolve so quickly as a planet when we really understand that we are what we've been waiting for. We are source energy. And we, just like Christ said, these things I do, you shall do greater. He was really serious about that. He was showing us the miracles that were possible, and he was telling us that we would be able to do them as well, and that we were just as worthy. And it wasn't that we needed to start a religion in his name. He never was a part of a religion. If you really look at his life, he was just speaking of what Source was channeling through him, or what he called his father. And that was the way he related to it. So he related to it as a father, and then everyone now believes that God is a male energy that's outside of us. And that is something worth considering in a shift, having a shift on understanding that there's the male, the female aspects in us, in all of us, and that source energy channels through to assist all of us. It doesn't matter what part of the country you're born in. You are not going to go to hell because you're in Okinawa and you never heard about Jesus. That is ridiculous. But there are many humans that believe that. And when they're so consumed with the fear of their club or their cult and they got to go push it on people, they go in and they break through boundaries and they project their stuff on societies and they destroy societies. They have murdered societies. And it would be nice if we just all spoke the truth about this stuff because it really is not necessary. So when I talk about source, that's what I mean. That was a really long description, but I hope that that answered your question, Ron, my mystery man. Anything else, Amnon?
Not yet. No.
Okay. So back to the vibration. This is what I'm feeling is really important to address today. When we are struggling in some way, like let's go back to the financial, because man, do I hear that all the time. People are so in lackful consciousness that they're constantly thinking there's not enough money, they're in fear. So even when, let's say I'm a healer, and which I am, but this has happened to me, so I'm going to speak some examples. um, there was a time where I was working at a place and it was temporary at the YMCA. I shared that story with you all. I went in, spoke my truth. That didn't last as long as I thought it would. 3 months later, I'm leaving, and my angels assured me, don't worry, we're going to take care of you, and you were to be a messenger. So just keep being a messenger and don't be too attached. I've learned to be okay with this. So then, during that time where I didn't have an employer at all, I was getting several healing clients, and that month was an amazing, abundant month for me as a healer, and so many clients were coming in. And I could sense this wave and this shift of energy changing. And that's when a lot of clients were reaching out and ready for their work. They were ready to do their work and to tune in, and I was ready to assist them. Well, then, not long after, my dog got very sick, and then my dog passed away. And during that month where I was not as busy, I was able to give so much of my time and my energy and my presence to my dog, who I loved and adored. Now, if I was in panic and in fear and in lack, I would have been looking out of the eyes like, oh my God, I have to get work. I have to work somewhere. And I wouldn't see that that source was giving me an opportunity to really connect with my animal, to really spend sacred time with a spirit that was transitioning and leaving her form soon. So if we're in tune, we are in tune to the cycles and the rhythms of life, we will realize that Source and the universe always has our highest favor, our highest good in mind. We are always being provided for in some way that we truly need. Now, if I'm sitting around stressing about the lack of money, all it's going to do vibrationally is probably cause more of my money to fall away and cause me to stress more, which is not going to serve me. It's not going to bring in opportunities. It's going to be like all these opportunities could be around, like in that vortex of alignment, but I'm dancing around the circle, panicked and like on that hamster wheel, freaking out. And so I'm not even seeing the opportunity. Now, in that kind of a situation, when I have that wisdom to go, okay, thank you, Source, for giving me some downtime. And then now I get busy again. And then a couple months later, a wave comes. My son has a situation. I'm helping my child, and there's no clients. And I won't lie, for a couple days, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of money going out right now, a lot of money going out that I wasn't planning for. So thank you for providing, and thank you for bringing me more clients and people that I can truly share my gifts with, because that is my passion. Well, I had that downtime, because I needed to totally be there for my son. And we were doing a lot of technical stuff that I had to be there for that took time. And then now I'm back into that wave of clients are coming in. I'm assisting clients and helping them. And life is really beautiful. And so my point is that we need to really be in tune with the rhythms and the cycles. And we need to trust that the universe is on our side. And that sometimes the universe takes away distractions that maybe we're even bringing money, but right now they'd be a distraction to what the ultimate goal is or the highest priority. So we really need to remember our intention and to really be present. That's something that so many humans that are in lackful consciousness lack. They are in lackful consciousness, so therefore they are never, I observe them, they're not present. They could be sitting right next to a person that's giving them answers and they're not even listening. They're on their cell phone texting, or they're panicking about the next appointment they need to be at, or they might be with a client and they're not even with the client because they're thinking about the next client they need to get. And this is what I'm talking about when I say there's a soul level sickness in our collective consciousness and in our as humanity that needs to be addressed. We need to really tune in to that thing inside of us that tells us there's not enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough popularity, not enough something. And when we're in that lackful consciousness, we are ruthless to each other. This is when you see humans at their worst. They are very cutthroat in their approach with each other. They're very competitive. They're very judgmental. They're very insecure and jealous, and they just want to dominate and control. And when I observe that in others, when I see humans acting in this way, all it's showing me is how out of alignment they are and how disconnected from their source they are. Because when we're connected with source, we understand that there is plenty. We understand that we are exactly in the right place at the right time. And then we give and offer our gift of presence. And that is why whenever things come to us, we thrive and we prosper and we have great health and abundance, because we are present with life. When life shows up, we show up with life and we say yes to it. When you're in lackful consciousness, life shows up, you're saying, no, sorry, don't have enough time, sorry, no, oh, excuse me, what'd you say? People are like, how you doing? Oh, good. And then they're walking off. They don't really care. And there's a reason they're struggling and that they're not happy. Because if you're not really caring and connecting with each other, you're never going to be fulfilled or happy. Because truly, what it is that you want most is that connection. What you're each seeking in the greatest places is a connection with your own source, and a connection to each other, and a feeling of love and honor and reverence for life. And no amount of money in your bank account or any amount of money disappearing from your bank account is going to make you understand that. What's going to help you is you really being present with life and really honoring it and being there in a higher vibration. So, when I talk about vibration, if you take 20 minutes, say 10 to 20 minutes a day, and you just lay down and you relax. You could do it outside, in your bedroom, it doesn't matter, but you just lay down and close your eyes, connect with your breath. You could put calm music on if you like, something like gentle and meditative, and you're just going to be still and connecting with your breath. As you tune in vibrationally, you want to check in. So right now, let's just do a little exercise. If all of you watching will just close your eyes for a moment and just connect with your breath. Just feel your breath. Be very present. And just tune in to what is going on inside of you right now vibrationally. Do you feel at ease? Or do you feel any sense of resistance going on? And no need for judgment. Just tune in with awareness. So if in our mind we're feeling resistance, it's very busy, very scattered, it's okay. Tune in and acknowledge that. If maybe in our heart we feel tension, our heart's tight, or our stomach's upset, we feel tension in our stomach, or maybe our shoulders are really tight, just take a breath and relax and let that go. So the more and more that we tune in and just tune into our own state of ease, am I at ease or am I in a place of resistance? That is a great place that we begin. So when we go into that place and we close our eyes and we feel our energy, the next level is not doing anything. It's really practicing releasing. So imagine as you're closing your eyes and you're breathing, your intention is to release any resistance, to release any tension, to release any fear. And it could be known fears or unknown fears that we're just unconsciously holding. But just to set that intention that we are releasing, we're letting go. And truly, as we let go and we allow the universe to support us, we remind ourselves, I am an amazing and powerful soul and I am worthy. I allow the universe to now fully support me. We basically go from this place where we had our hose pinched and then we unpinch the hose, and source, that infinite supply of source, can flow in and help us. So vibrationally, that is the most important thing that we need to remember. Is it's not about how many books we've read, it's not about how what we look like or our social status or how much money's in our bank. It's not about how hard we worked, that we had to work 60 hours so that then we could be worthy of that money. The people that you see that are really thriving, the secret they understand is that they have let go of that need to overwork and overperform and overprove themselves, and they have relaxed and they let go and they allow the entire universe to support them. They realize they're a part of this greater universe that has all these beings on the planet that are here to support us, and we start to pay attention and tune in vibrationally. When we're at ease, we naturally will notice the opportunities. When we're at ease and we're in our higher vibration, we attract, like bees to honey, we attract the opportunities and the helpers in. When we're tense and freaked out and stressed, if you're really paying attention to your life, when you're in that energy, you're repelling and repulsing beings from your life. Sometimes you're actually destroying friendships and relationships because your fear is so strong that you are just lashing out and burning bridges left and right. It's not necessary, and it's definitely not serving you. So I'll take a pause. Any questions at this point?
Well, it seems like Guy D had a problem. He says he didn't know how to connect or tune in. So I was trying to help him find out what
Oh,
the problem was. And he said, he didn't answer. And I said, ask him if he was there. He said, oh, yes. I mean, in the sense of conversation, alignment, vibration. I thought it was a
okay.
technical problem,
Oh,
but it's not.
well, in a way, you got it because it is a technical problem. It's like not necessarily on the computer today, but it's like that. Like if we look at like a computer, we sometimes have to tune in and we have to clear the clutter of our computer so that it will work and function properly. And if we don't do that, it's just going to glitch and have issues. So think of that as in yourself, like we as humans invented computers. The reason we did is so that we could have something outside of ourselves that we could understand. And we internally are much like a computer. Sometimes we need to go hit that computer and reboot it. And that's like when I talk about meditation, think of it like a reboot, like you're rebooting your hard drive, you're reconnecting. And when I go into meditation or I'm in dream state, I call in higher consciousness, call in angels, ascended masters, and I thank Source for uploading me with the information that I need at this time. So as I'm speaking right now, that's my intention before I started speaking on the show and before every show is Source, speak through me, channel through me, upload me with the wisdom, the consciousness, the information. So it's just like we put a program on our computer and suddenly it's operating more efficiently. That's exactly how Source works in us. So we need to sometimes take time to kind of turn our computer off. That's symbolic of shutting our mind down. Sometimes the mind is so busy and consumed with thought, or we have way too many programs running, and so our computer it's like overworking and it's like overheating, and we can feel that in ourselves vibrationally if we've been overdoing and we're spinning our wheels and we're getting nowhere. That's a good time to shut off the computer. And so a lot of times that's exactly when humans are in that kind of panic. They make all the worst decisions and choices because they're making their choices from a lower consciousness. They're making their decisions from fear rather than from love. And it's so important that we start learning about this, that we start really pausing and going into that higher vibration and that higher consciousness before we make our decisions, because that is going to make all the difference, I promise you. Anything else on that? Like,
Nope.
share, how about some of you listening, share with me some examples of things you're going through right now with lack, and let me see if I can help you. If you feel free to share, and then I'll keep talking, but if anybody wants to share like a scenario, I'd be happy to help. So let's see, back to vibration. Now, the universe is listening to your vibration. So when I am, say, I just put out a bunch of money, which literally just happened. Sending money for my son's car and all these things I didn't expect. So I go into meditation and I just vibrationally feel gratitude for the fact I had that money to help my son. That's the first step of being in appreciation and in a space of having. And so I'm in that vibration of feeling gratitude. And then I thank Source for the opportunities of extra abundance to flow in because I'm saving money for things that are special, like going and running away to Bali to marry my beloved. That's pretty important and it's on my priority list. So I put that out there. There's goals I have in my career, starting my own syndicated show and really reaching out to more people, and as a healer, leading retreats and seminars. So I tune in vibrationally and I am grateful for what I have. If I have one student show up for a workshop, I'm grateful. And then some days I have 30 people show up. But you stop caring and worrying about it and thinking there's something wrong, because that's our ego. If I have one student show up, there's usually a very powerful reason for it, and it's meant to be a one-on-one session. And so I've learned to really honor and say yes to life however it arrives. And when I go into meditation, I'm visualizing this greater mission and reaching more people. I see it as if it's already here. I vibrationally feel the excitement for what's to come. I vibrationally feel the eagerness and the gratitude for what is on its way and for what I already have. Now, when you're in that place, you vibrationally are attracting to you like a magnet, just metal shards flying in. That's what you're like, vibrationally, to your abundance and to your opportunities. When you're complaining and you're not meaning to cause yourself trouble, but you're complaining about the lack, you're complaining about how screwed up the government is, you're complaining about how people take advantage of you, and damn it, people don't honor me. When you're doing that, not meaning to, what happens is you are repelling the good opportunities, because vibrationally you are telling the universe, life is a struggle for me, life is a struggle for me, life is a struggle for me. Life sucks, people are suck, everyone sucks. And so the universe responds and says, oh, okay, so he's calling in all the people that suck. Whew, like magnets, they come in. He's calling in all the people who take advantage and don't respect. Whew, coming in. So when we catch that and we realize, oh my gosh, I just figured out the secret to the universe, because really I'm telling you it, and you might want to really pay attention, because when we shift that and we start getting into that vibration of, I'm so grateful for what I have, I am so excited and eager for what is on its way, we do not let anything externally distract us and drop in our vibration. Now you've become a master at managing your own frequency, your own vibration. So the frequency you're emitting out to the universe, you are the only one in charge of that. Nobody in the world has the power to change that unless you allow it. So let's say you're living with someone and they're complaining all the time. You have power. You can let that affect you, and you can just get frustrated and go talk about it to your friends and, I hate that nagging lady. She's always talking about crap. Or you could actually address it and say, I notice that you tend to complain a lot and you tend to kind of want to talk about the lack. What would you say? Do you think it'd be kind of fun if we just played a little bit and like imagined how everything could be so much better? And what is it you're grateful for? And if they're just pissed at you for even saying that because they just don't want to be in a high vibration place, let them go. And I'm not joking. Like, humans, We are not meant to be attached to each other the way we have been trained to be. We attach to each other out of fear. And then when we're in attachment from fear, we feel controlled and dominated. And then therefore, we let that trigger it in ourselves and we start to want to control and dominate each other. And that is not healthy and it's not love. And then we say, oh, it's because I love you. It's such crap. And so, really, we need to start waking up and realize that actual love is freedom, and love is liberation, and love is truth. Love is honesty and kindness and compassion, and it's alignment. And when we're in that ourself, then we can truly share that with each other. And the reason you see so many couples struggling and so many relationships and families that are just terrible and so much darkness is because they're not really loving each other. They're all controlling each other. They're all trying to take each other's power and energy because they've all forgotten their connection to their true source. So if you're living in a situation like that, any of you, really take the time to meditate and get connected to your true source, and don't wait until your wife or your husband or your best friend or your sister or your child gets there. I was just writing that on my angel blog yesterday. I think yesterday I posted that so many of us, we procrastinate on our healing work. That's why I'm here, and I would love to be made use of more than I am, and I'm grateful for all that I get to help. But there's so many humans I see struggling that if they would just really come and focus and commit and dedicate their highest intention to their own alignment and their own stepping into their power, everything else would change for them. And we really have to let go of fear. We have to become fearless warriors of light, because where we are evolving to, there is no room for fear there anymore. Where we are shifting on a planet, we want, at a soul level, we want harmony, and we want peace, and we want respect, and we want compassion. And in order for us to call that forth, we have to become it. So if there's something you're wanting, think and tune in to, am I embodying that myself? If you see something beautiful in nature, look at that with honor and reverence, and look at it and say, what about that is a reflection of something in myself that I'm needing to see, or some part of myself that is coming to the surface. And we will start to really understand how beautiful we are and how one we are with the universe. So again, it all comes, it all comes down to vibration. And I know that the thing that's going to cause this to take a little time, because I already feel it, is that humans are going to think it's too easy. That can't be true. That's too simple. It's got to be harder than that. Because we are so sick as a society with this belief system that everything that's of worth has to be hard, and that if we get something, we have to work hard for it. We really have an addiction to that. We have an addiction to struggle and suffering, and it needs to be hard. And then we love to celebrate that when we've struggled so hard and talk about how hard it was, and then people reward us and celebrate. And same with like the whole societal competitive energy that's coming from lack. Like, for me to be better, I have to beat your ass and I have to be better than you. And it's really sick. If you really tune into it vibrationally, it's so not love. And so if we could tune in as a society and see, like, why do we have a tendency to do that? You know, why is it that we feel that we want to compete at that level? It's coming from fear. It is never coming from love. And if we really want to feel at ease, it's going to happen when we step in and when we start to calm our energy, when we start to feel our own ease and we call it forth, when we start to refuse to be distracted by all the negative talk, and we address things. Because you all see me on this show. I don't ever, dance around subjects and don't want to talk about anything, but I also have a point and a focal point that's on a solution and the intention of awareness. So it's okay to talk about something, but not to complain needlessly and just bitch and moan and complain about the lack. That is not serving you. The victim time on our planet is come to an end, and it's because we all want it to come to an end. But we have to see our part that we're playing and how we are either participating in alignment and in empowerment, or we're participating in this role of victimization or being the victimizer, whichever way that we want to play that out, and it's not serving us. So it's time for evolution, friends. Any other questions or comments or
Yes,
anybody flipping me off right now? Bring it on.
we have one from Guy again, and then there's also one from Ron. But Guy
Okay.
says, I'm having trouble letting go and letting source speak through my art. No sense of play. I feel dried
Okay.
up.
Okay. And what I'm getting with that for Guy is that for him to spend more time with higher vibrational beings, like sacred time, more time in meditation in nature, and not even feel you need to produce anything for a little while. The thing that happens with a lot of artists is we get this pressure like, oh, I'm an artist and that's how I got to make my living. But let the universe provide for you and really allow the universe to provide and just take a breath and let yourself relax into trusting that the universe would love to provide for you. Sometimes we have time, a space between creation, when we're in the place of, you know, the ideation, the ideas are coming in, and then the process of creation. There's a gap there. And what I think frightens a lot of artists is that they feel they need to be constantly producing and constantly receiving financial flow. So if we look at nature, nature's an amazing teacher. If you look at nature, there's a time and a season where we plant the seeds, and then there's a process of nurturing those seeds, watering them, and we hope for them to grow, and we give them our intent, our love and our intention, and we have the expectation that there's going to be a crop come fall. And when the crop comes, we celebrate and we share it and we thrive and we have that abundance. With humans, a lot of times we forget the cycles of nature and we feel like I need to be making money every single day. And if I'm not, then I must be doing something wrong, or I need to be promoting art constantly. And if I'm not, then something's wrong. And so it's good to kind of have a way that you can find work that you do that can be stable and steady, that you enjoy, and then allow your art to come and birth from you from inspiration, because what will cause an artist suffering more than anything is a feeling that they need to make something happen, and it starts to really disconnect them from source because they get into this total fear. It's like writer's block, like they're blocked, and what's happening is the block is happening from themselves. They literally are pinching the hose. Source, if you're open, is inspiring you every day. If you're in a high vibration and you're out and you're just observing life, you have inspiration coming all the time. But if we're not in that space of connection and we're in fear and isolation, we really will miss that. And then we start kind of, it's like a downward spiral. So I would encourage you to really find some kind of work you can do, different seasons. Find ways that the work you do can be produced again and again. Like, for example, I may spend a lot of time making a painting, and then I can turn that painting, like I just recently made prints and I'm making them into clocks because my fiance was making these really cool clocks. So now we're going to go to some art shows this summer and we're going to sell the paintings that I've made as clocks. So it's something functional, it's something beautiful, and we could just get creative ideas of how you can find other ways. And then I also don't just count on those clocks selling for my well-being. I let the universe support me. So the universe may say, Tanya, you're going to be helping many clients as a healer this week. Oh, and here, the gym just called and wants you to sub a yoga class. And here comes a couple students that want to have a yoga teacher training with you. And this person would like you to come paint a mural. This is literally my life. Like, this has been my life the last couple of months. So I don't tell the universe where it has to come from. I just pay attention. And when the universe says, Tanya, we love your art. Would you like to paint a mural at Wafer Tech? And we're going to pay you $2,500. Yes, please. And so then I go and do it. And okay, that's done now. Now I get more free time. Clients start showing up. Okay, Tanya, we'd like to work with you as a healer. Can you help us to be in power? Can you help us to be liberated and live as powerfully as you are? Yes, I can. So do you see where I'm coming from? You want to really find what moves you and what inspires you, but let the universe bring it and say yes when it comes. And when you're in a place of ease, if you're feeling lack right now and you're feeling fear, which I'm sensing you are, you want to tune in and release all that. You're in a place of rebirthing right now. And the universe is wanting you to remember the child of light that you are and to remember how worthy and deserving you are. And in order for you to receive all that you deserve, you have to release this lackful consciousness. You have to release the victim, the martyr. There's an energy that has to be surrendered. And when you do, you will leave that dancing around the circle in the shadow, and you will have the power and courage to step fully in and embody your light being in every way. And this may challenge you, meaning that it may change your identity and what you've thought of yourself because you are rebirthing. So be really, just enjoy that process, that unfolding with excitement and with eagerness of all that is coming to you now because you are evolving. That's a beautiful thing. And a lot of us, I was making a reference the other day with artists in particular. Like, I love Metallica. I love all kinds of art or music, but I love Metallica, and that may be a shocker to some people, but I do. And I think they're amazingly talented band. And I was observing, for a while, like how different bands have an energy. And Metallica, they're just angry. They're very rebellious. They've got something to say, and they're kind of pissed off. And there's parts of that we can relate to as humans when we feel frustrated or we feel anger about something going on in society. But I was observing how there was a time when their band, they were really struggling, and they had made a documentary, and James Hetfield was in rehab, and he's struggling in his own way, and then Lars is like being all like artsy and wanting to be very abstract with his drumming, and it's driving James Hetfield crazy. And there was just this humor about it. But at the same time, I realized what was going on energetically is that you have a band like Metallica. There's fans. They build up a following, and they get all these fans that love them. And they're like, if you want to listen to some amazing, rageful, pissed off music, you want to listen to Metallica. Well, what happens when that leader starts to heal, which he was? He was in rehab. He's healing. What happens then? The music will change. And what happens is a lot of times artists are frightened for that to happen because, oh my God, all these followers are not going to think we're authentic anymore because now we're singing a love song. But that's what we have to let go of in society is we need to stop putting people and ourselves into little boxes and labeling them and then thinking that we cannot ever be anything but that. So if you as an artist are thinking you can only be this certain kind of artist, it's really limiting you, and that limitation is going to cause pressure. It's going to cause you tension. The more and more you release the limitations, you drop the walls, the more free your spirit flows, and the more joyous your life is. Because as a creator, we are all creators, by the way. We're all artists. Some of us realize that, and we actually embody it very passionately. And some of us think, oh, I'm not an artist. I can never draw or whatever. Being an artist is not about drawing. We are all creators. When we are tuned in with our one true source energy, and it's channeling through with inspiration, we are creators. And when we understand that, we thrive and we enjoy life because I feel the highest enjoyable moments are when we are in a state of creation and when it's coming from inspiration. When we are inspired creators, that is the highest joy. So instead of trying to lasso the creation and hook it and reel it in and catch it and make it yours and throw it in a box and label it, allow life to live through you. If any of you this week have some time, I encourage you to watch the movie The Shift with Dr. Wayne Dyer. I think I've mentioned it before, but if you have a chance, watch this film and just really pay attention to the message of the film because it's really all about allowing life to live through you. You don't need to tell life how it's going to go. You'll have a feeling. We'll each, as we tune in with Source, we will remember, like, I am very aware of my soul mission, very aware. However, I don't tell the universe how that mission has to unfold. I know the mission. I pay attention and observe life. And when Source says, hey, would you like your own internet show? Yes, I do. Hey, would you like to go and be in a new movie? Sure, sounds awesome. Hey, would you like to start your own syndicated talk show and reach millions of people? Calling it forth, baby. And when that comes in, I'm going to say, yes, I will. So basically, it's just you put out a vibration, you know what you want, but you're not frustrated and depressed because it's not here. Because when we vibrationally go into that depression place, it is like tying an anchor to your neck and jumping off a boat. And you're going down. And you are going down because you're choosing that. So the first step in liberation is to get that freaking anchor off your neck and stop being a victim in any way, and to really start listening and tuning in with source. Start to come together. Like, I'm being called to start this sacred women's circle, the sacred sisterhood circle. And since I got the inspiration to do this, I got an amazing feedback of all these women that are like burning with desire for this to happen. And it's because it's happening on our planet. It's happening in us. And it's time for us to step in. And I, as the leader of this circle, and my intention is to really draw these people in that are ready, these souls in, and help bring their magic to the surface, to help pull our spiritual medicine to the surface so that we can share it with our community, we can share it with our planet. That's what we're all here for. So really stop seeing yourselves as being alone and start connecting. Start going to workshops, start going to events with beings who are of high vibration, because being in their presence will totally change your life if you're open to it. And staying in the isolation of your own house in depression, it's not helping you. You've seen that. You've been doing it a long time. And the biggest part of that test will be to leave what you know. Because so many of you are so comfortably uncomfortable. It's what you know. Suffering and struggle, I know that. I know what to do there. And this is why you stay, because it's what you know. Source is calling us all to step into the unknown, to take steps, to take risks, to go into uncharted territory, because our soul hasn't been there yet, and it's why it's so burning inside of you to go there, because we are ready to evolve. That is what brings our soul joy. Our soul loves evolution. It loves to move and flow. And the human conditioning is to be attached and to be controlled and to be labeled. That is why so many in society suffer. I don't care what your job is, what your title, if you're the President of the United States. I don't care. If you are not letting your soul evolve and flow with freedom and truth and liberation, you are creating suffering for yourself, and most likely will start to project it upon others. That is why so many leaders that are out of alignment will project this on the younger generations and then cause them to go fight their wars because they're pissed off. We've got to start waking up, and the thing is we can't just be mad at those people that are out of alignment. We need to be in our power, and we need to stop enabling it. You're going to feel amazingly powerful every time in the next week. I just totally challenge you and encourage each of you in the next week, anything that comes your way that feels out of alignment, say so. Call it out. Speak to that person. What was your intention? Why did you just say that to me? Do you realize how that felt? What is your vibrational intention? And if someone's trying to manipulate you and trying to talk you into something you don't want to do, no, I'm not doing it. Well, then I'm not going to like you. I'm not going to be your friend. Awesome. Good luck to you. I don't really need friends like that. Stop caring so much about what others think of you to the point that you attach. And you watch what changes for your life. I'm telling you. And they're going to say you're crazy. Be open to that. Like, be open to people in your world that said they loved you, judging and lashing out at you. Don't expect it, because I don't want that for you. But if it happens, just celebrate the fact that you are a warrior and you're in your power, and that you have nothing to prove, no one to prove anything to, and nothing to answer to, because you are free. And that freedom is going to frighten some people that are not used to that. And it may challenge those around you who are used to controlling you. So don't worry about what they do with it. You be more concerned about what you feel about them. So this is where we get ourselves in trouble. We so care about what people think about us. Where in aligned living, when we're in the land of alignment, I'm looking out of the eyes of, where is it vibrationally that serves me? How does this human make me feel vibrationally? Does this feel loving? Why are they trying to control me? I don't really need that. That's how I live, and that's why I don't get in those situations anymore. But when I was younger, I was looking out of the eyes of, what can I do to get that person to like me? Maybe if I did this, they'll like me, and then they'll appreciate me, then they'll accept me. Totally different way of living, and totally crappy experience. I lived that for most of my life, and we don't need to do that anymore. And I promise you, if you stop doing that, you are going to feel amazing, and you are going to feel powerful beyond words. And that is what I'm here on this planet to inspire in everyone who's got the courage and the time to listen. Because when we do that work, we are going to shine. And when we're shining, we inspire others. And when we inspire others, it's a rippling effect across the planet. and its time has come. And I am fearless and I am pumped and motivated and ready to serve and assist any of you that are ready to stop the victim game. But I promise you, if you're going to work with a healer like myself, you need to be ready. You need to be ready to do your work and ready to hear truth. Because if you're not, I'm not the best healer for you. You're going to have to go find somebody that's just going to tell you what you want to hear, and you're going to stay stuck longer. But if you want quantum shifts in your life and you want amazing change and transformation, then really have the courage and the time to go and connect with those who are here to help you and to really listen to that wisdom. Because if you don't and you just stay stuck where you are, feeling alone and unworthy, you've been there for so long. Like, dare to leave. It's like the Eminem 8 Mile. Like, he lived in that ghetto 8 Mile, and I love that song, Lose Yourself or whatever. And he's just like, that song's amazing. It's like you got to step into that moment and you got to claim it. And it's because you know you got to leave that damn ghetto life that you've been living because it's no longer serving you. And if each of us could have the courage to do that, think of what would be different on our planet. Because it's not about what everyone else is doing. It's about what are you doing. And if you're happy and you're in alignment, you know it. Like, if you're happy and you know it, you clap your hands. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, you know if you're happy and you know if you're in alignment. And no one can give that to you. But there are many healers and teachers and leaders and filmmakers and authors that are here to inspire and guide the direction. And you need to actually listen and do that work. Which, honestly, I want to take work away. It's really not work. When you're in vibrational meditation and you're just releasing, it's not work. It's the opposite of work. It's not doing anything. It's being. It's allowing. It's shedding. It's releasing. It's letting go. And it sounds so counterproductive of what you've been taught, because all of you have been taught, if you want to be productive and responsible, go do something. And it's actually the opposite. The most amazing authors, their best work comes when they're being and they're just in a meditative, reflective place in their imagination. And bam, that's when the inspiration comes. A healer's most amazing magic is when she's got a clear mind and she's channeling higher consciousness and a healing happens and awareness is given. So it's not about making anything happen. And that's what we have to get away from as a society, is this need to go and make it happen and force it and push and do more work. The work that we're doing is exhausting us as a society, and it's time for us to tune in and to release all that sense of unworthiness. That's really what we need to do. So we're 3 minutes over. So any other questions before we sign off?
One more comment.
All right.
Ron is saying, #1 fan.
My #1 fan.
He says, my lack is of myself. Not totally trusting that I am worthy of the most beautiful and connected woman that I have ever met. I am worried at times that I will mess it up, which causes my universe to support that. Then I mess something up. This feeling is clearing, but it does creep in at times.
Yes. And that's actually really great awareness. And I just salute Ron for speaking such truth, because that takes great courage to speak like that. And he and I have talked about that, and we're going to have another session soon for a clearing. But he has such awareness, and there's such a beauty in him. And in all of us, when we're in awareness and when we're not trying to protect what we know is out of alignment. And so for him to share that so honestly is beautiful, because it does take courage to be honest and say that we have fear, or that, I'm afraid that I'm going to be abandoned, or I'm going to be rejected, or why do you even love me? Because there's that woundedness deep inside that some of us don't even know why it's there, but we have this, many of us have this deep abandonment stuff going on, or this inner child unworthiness. And we've got to clear that. And that is what, as a healer, my throat's like, That's what, as a healer, I am here assisting many souls with, is that in order for us to bring in what we're ready for, a clearing has to happen. Think of it kind of like you have an old rundown building in the city, but you have a dream of building this beautiful art museum, and it's just gorgeous, and you can see it in your mind, but there's that crappy old building that's fallen apart there, that's been, evicted. No one can go there. It's all, I can't think of the word, but, it's run down. And in order for that dream to come true, we sometimes need to clear that old building. We got to cut it down. We got to pull out all the rubble, remove all that, and then we can start building the new dream. So that's what goes on in us energetically. If we have a lot of fear or lack, a healer like myself can tune into that very quickly and see the energetic patterns, and then we can pull up that rubble and clear it out. And an amazing thing happens because now we don't have all that clutter anymore. We've got a clear, open, like I used to call it the Etch-a-Sketch, like we shake our Etch-a-Sketch clean. We have a clean foundation now to build upon. And it's so important that we do that clearing work first so that we can do and build the dream. And Ron has done so much. I've been with him for a little over a year, and he has cleared so much. And I know and see the beauty in him. And I told him, you need to look at yourself. You need to see yourself the way I see you, the way Source sees you, because he's such a beautiful, loving, generous man, and such a sweetheart, and just the heart of gold. And I see that. And he still sees that there's something not of worth there. And so as he heals and clears that, he's going to more and more feel comfortable with being with someone of power. And that's why he and I can work, because he's so aware and he's working on that. If he wasn't, like in my past relationship, he was in a place of rejection and, ego, and no one's going to tell me that I need to do anything and dominate me and push me into submission, then he and I wouldn't work out, because I'm done with that and I won't tolerate that anymore. And so each of us, we have to really do that clearing work and realize that we all have our days. Like there's days where I've lost my alignment when all this stuff was happening with my ex-husband and my son is hurting. I was crying and I was just like, what is the point? Like I'm doing all this and what does it even matter? And I was crying. It was a dark night of the soul for me. And Ron came in and hugged me. He's like, don't you dare forget who you are. You are an amazing, powerful woman. He's like, you are going through so much and you are doing awesome. Like, do not let that darkness take you. And it was just like, whoa, he is amazing. And in that way, he helps support me so that I can be here and help and lead so many. And so I see that power in him that is behind the scenes. He's the wind beneath my wings. Anyways, so I think it's great that he shared that, because we all have that clearing work to do. I've had to do mine. He's doing his. Amnon's doing his wife's doing hers. Like, we're all doing this. And some of us are facing it and we're clearing it, and it's really just like buoys coming to the surface and then let them float away. Don't think of it like work. Think of it as, I just need to tune in and have awareness and then set things free. And that is really simple, and really evolution can be very simple. Everything's a choice. We choose struggle because of our thoughts, our belief systems, and then our actions, or we choose ease because of our thoughts and our belief systems and our actions. So I encourage you all to choose the space of ease, to go with life, go with the flow, and really love each other and really be vulnerable with each other and have truth and integrity, and realize that you're spiritual warriors that have come here to awaken. None of you came here to submit. None of you came here to be pushed around and to be dominated. And many of you have been, but none of you came here to live that experience. You've come here to awaken from it and to rise and to dare to challenge others to do the same. That is really our alignment. And when we come into that and we say yes to our soul mission, it doesn't even matter what all happens externally. We feel an internal fire inside of us that ignites us and guides us daily. Like, I'm inspired all the time and I'm one with Source all the time, because I no longer just relate to the external world. I live on this planet, but I'm not of this planet. I don't get too caught up in all the games. I don't watch TV. There's a lot of things I don't participate in because the consciousness is not really where it's going to serve me. So we each have to dare to be a powerful catalyst for that change. And maybe we're here, maybe I am here to create a show, to create a shift that brings a higher consciousness. And I know I am. And maybe you are here to create artwork, to speak something of power and truth. Maybe you're here to write a book. Maybe you're here to, teach something. Maybe you're here to just be a supporter of someone who is teaching and leading. Like, without all the clients and the supporters that come to help me, I would not have anything to do either. So I am, my goodness and my abundance comes from those who come to me and trust in me and have vulnerability. So do you see how it's all interconnected? That's why there's no need for ego. We all need each other and we all are here to support each other. And we're all here sharing one planet that would really be good for us to pay attention to how we're treating because it's our home, all of our home. And we really need to all be mindful of the honor that we're giving each other, that we're having integrity with each other. Be more concerned, Source told me this week, humans need to be more concerned with if you are taking advantage of another than if they are taking advantage of you. Many times we're walking around in lackful consciousness, like, oh, they're going to try to get this, they're going to do that. But what Source is trying to wake up in us is to be more loving and to make sure we are honoring the other, that we are of integrity, and not to be worrying about what they're doing, but be that integrity ourselves, be in that alignment ourselves. Everything changes when that happens. And you will start to draw in those who really honor. Call that forth. Really ask the universe for, I'm calling forth these beings who love, honor, and appreciate me, and allow that to come. All right, so we went over a bit. Any
That's all
last
right.
things from you, Amnon?
No, that's
Okay.
it.
All right, well, this week, guys, pay attention. Remember to have meditation time every day and just be at ease and release resistance and be excited and grateful for what you have and be eager and optimistic and excited for what is on its way and trust that the universe is hearing all of your calls and wants to give to you, but you have to allow yourself to be a vibrational match for what you're calling in. If you're sick of people not having integrity and not loving and not being honest and not, giving money for things, be that yourself. Be of high integrity. Be of high vibration. Start shifting that yourself. Like Gandhi said, be the change. And really, we'll watch things shift very swiftly when we all step in. So step in, stop dancing around the circle. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Everyone have an amazing week. I was going to read you a card, but we went over, so next
Yeah,
week
you
we will
go. You
talk.
go ahead if you want to.
Do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay. Alrighty then. Because I was like, oh, I kind of went over. So I picked this card. It's Gaia. And it says harmony, abundance, wholeness, and forgiveness. And I feel this is what Source, what I asked, what do they need to hear today? And I feel this so ties into what we discussed today. Basically, I'm just going to go right to the message because there's a lot of things about Gaia and the belief system on that. But the message is, as a great mother cares for her children, Gaia brings with her immeasurable love, support, and celebration for your journey. And I'm speaking to you, Guy. She honors you for all that you are now becoming, for the dreams that you are saying yes to and calling into being. And to you, Ron, she honors you for the unique and vital role that you came here to play in the great creation story. Her clear and simple message is this to you: yes. There is never a time when the energy of Gaia is absent from your life or when her messages, lessons, and gifts are not present and available. There are only times when you may choose to look past the signs, to ignore the messages, or temporarily remove yourself from the connection of life's flow. Pinching the hose. Sometimes we force ourselves against the current, or we struggle through the bushes in great thirst, lackful consciousness, when all along there is a river of clear flowing water running right beside us or within us. And that's what I refer to as alignment and source. That's the river of life, and it's always streaming, always. As each drop naturally finds its way from the mountaintop back to the sea, Gaia celebrates your return to the greater currents of who you really came here to be. So think about that one. Not who you've been, who you are becoming. We can spend lifetimes living in our head, chasing ideas and concepts, external pressures and agendas, but Gaia's deep invitation is to pause for a moment, maybe 20, and return to that innate part of yourself that truly knows why you are here. That part that once moved in absolute harmony with all of life. That part of you that recognizes the pulse of the earth as your own, that honors the waters as the lifeblood of your own mother, and that hears the wisdom and stories whispered in the wind as those of your own grandparents. Gaia calls you to remember the time when you embraced the tree as your brother. Maybe go talk to a tree this week. I encourage it. When lighting a fire meant igniting the sacred embers of your own divine purpose. Now is such a time for you and your journey. Gaia's great invitation is to recognize and embrace yourself as an honored member of the family of life, both totally unique and intricately connected to the whole. As you admire the radiance of the parrot and the spirit of the horse, as you take in the magnificence of the whale breaching or the strength of gorilla standing his ground, as you witness the sense of purpose in a single bee or the great vision held by Brother Eagle, you not only see the beauty of Gaia, but you catch glimpses of your own being ready to be embodied and expressed. The beauty, the flow, the power, grace, and wisdom you see in the natural world is a great reflection of the qualities that you carry within. When you find yourself immersed in appreciation of some aspect of Gaia's world, ask yourself, what do I most admire and honor about this animal, this element, or this being? Then ask yourself, where do I see this same quality emerging or ready to emerge from within me? Again, Gaia says, now is the time. Mother Earth is uncompromisingly protective of the balance of life, but she is also forgiving and compassionate. She never turns her back on her children. She knows that each of us in a journey of returning to our own true nature, and all of our energy is in support of this. As you spend time in communion with the animals and the elements of Gaia, you will find both Her Majesty and your own revealed in You will find both Her Majesty and your own revealed in full glory. Take this moment as a gift, both miraculous and simple, an invitation to experience the most extraordinary aspects of your life as your normal way of being. And here's your affirmation. The earthly mother and I are one. I am one with the energy of life. And what I like to add into that is I am one with Source. When you start saying I am one, I am, you step in. So it's no more I wish I could understand and wish I could connect. I am one with the flow of life. I am one with Source. So I wish you all the best week of oneness, and let's just call forth some miracles and really don't lose your focal point. Don't get frustrated when the miracles don't show up fast enough or in the way you think they should. Stay in the vibration of appreciation and gratitude and keep expecting miracles and just keep watching like an excited child on Christmas Eve waiting for what presents are coming. I want you to imagine that feeling inside of yourself vibrationally and be open, optimistic, and grateful and excited for all the good that's on its way for you. And then listen to the calling. Have a beautiful, blessed week, everyone. Namaste.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tawnya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.